I went live early because I have to sprint and make fudge puddles. Send help, IT's alive and growling.
Four computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
Truck, truck, truck. Quotons, get in here and entertain them.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Banana 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 nab 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 and banana 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 and banana nab 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 banan banana banana nan and banana na ah. Quick fish, quick fish, quick fish, quick fish. Annie, are you okay? Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? Annie, are you okay? Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? Annie, are you okay? Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? You've been hit by. You've been struck by. Truck. Bio. Mamma mia. Papa Pia. Baby got the diarrhea. Seeking. 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 Oil paintings, oil paintings, oil paintings. Seeking. Nah man, these just my hair products. Rare products.
everybody. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Hi, Rogue. Look at the Rogue. You saying hi to everybody? Yeah? Okay, alright, I'll let you know. There you go. Hello, Irma. How are you guys doing today? I am okay. Probably. I mean, we'll see. I thought this Monday too. Stream may not be too long today. I know we're not doing Kingdom Hearts stuff. Not feeling the best in the grumbly tumbly, as you could probably imagine from the fact that I just spent 20 minutes shitting. So, you know, there's that. But besides that, how is everyone's week going so far? We're halfway through it. Only a little ways till Friday and the weekend, if that is something that means anything to you. More and more people I'm seeing just like like Saturday and Sunday don't exactly mean anything. Got quiet. Okay, there we go. Yeah, how's your guys' week been so far? Mine has been okay. Work in the service industry. What's the weekend? Yeah, what's the weekend? What's a good week? What's a good day? Yeah, totally get that. I don't know. I'm not feeling it today. Like I almost canceled, but it was way too close, and I already did it last week, and I didn't want to do it again. So I'm here, but I don't know for how long. I just want to talk about like the recent shit that's been going on, and we'll see. Maybe I'll get ADHD sidetracked again, and we'll go that way. Maybe not. Yeah, I've always heard that the app has much worse lag than the website. We're gonna start off with this. Maybe. Quotons, I had a Fallout dream. Ooh, there's a lot in there. I had a Fallout dream last night. I don't even remember what it was. I don't remember what it was anymore. I just remember that that's what it was. So there's that. I may try playing Fallout 4 again for like the 9th time. I have never played much of that game. I don't know if it's just my incompetence or my bad luck or what, but I felt like Fallout 4 was so much more difficult than the other games. Like, if you follow, you know, like the story and you know, go and like get the power armor and everything, like they throw a Deathclaw at you right away, and I'm sure it's weaker than normal ones, but it's still like, it seems like a lot to throw at you right away. And then the first place I usually go to after that is like a nearby, like, I don't know, it's some building, and it's just full of fucking raiders. And there's like some super mutants nearby. I always get so fucked up in that game. I've never made it too far. It's the incompetent. Hi, Dart. Glad you could make it in, buddy. But I just also haven't heard many great things about the story, like the main story. And again, like, I don't like the fact that like the dialogue options realistically don't actually mean anything. Yeah, I mean, that was the general consensus. Like, Fallout 4 didn't do well. You know, I've heard the DLCs are pretty good. And, you know, there's plenty of, like, mods and things that help fix a lot of the issues with the base game. But it's, so, I mean, same, you know, like, New Vegas will always be my favorite. Followed pretty closely by 3. The only reason, well, not the only reason, one of the big reasons I keep going back to New Vegas, instead of 3, is I understand why Fallout 3 did it, because of the series history as a more almost, you know, like, tabletop based kind of system in combat and skills and all that sort of stuff. But what I liked about New Vegas more than 3 was 4 special dialogue options or skill checks and things like that. New Vegas was just your rank. Like, you just had to have a certain rank in a skill in order to successfully do a thing. You knew if you were going to succeed or fail. It would just outright tell you. Fallout 3 was percentage based. Like, your chances of succeeding increased as your skills got higher. But even if you were max rank in a skill, so like you had a 100 in it, it was still never like a 100% chance of succeeding. It was always like 99. And some of them may have even said 100%, but I know for sure there was some time when I was playing Fallout 3, a dialogue option came up and I was max rank in a skill, so it gave me the highest percentage chance, and I still failed it. And that's when it's like what the fuck am I gonna do at that point? And so, some may like it more because of that. They like the chance that even if you're the best of the best, there's still a chance you can fail. And I understand that. But in a video game like that, I would rather it just be like, I need a 45 science to do this. Oh, I have it. Cool. I know I can do it. I liked 4 a lot, but acknowledge the flaws. I liked 3 more than New Vegas without DLC, but New Vegas plus DLC is so good. And I like 4 plus DLC more than the base game too, for sure. But I like the base 4 more than the base New Vegas. Really? Is that... I was going to just open-ended ask why, and that's still out there. Like, if you want to explain why. Is it, like... What is it that made 4... What made you like 4 so much more than New Vegas? Because that is, like, the general consensus, right? Is that, you know, most people like New Vegas or 3 the best, and, you know, there wasn't a great reception to 4. Because 4 had, like, when I started playing it for the first time, I loved it. You know, it looked great. At the beginning, it wasn't super buggy. The character customization was incredible. The fact that if you chose like a certain name, that there's a chance that robot NPC like would actually say the name of your character, which is something incredible. And a lot of I'm sure like at the time was a lot of hard work for them to do something like that. That stuff like that is actually why I'm there's a lot to be fearful of about it, but why I'm excited for the advancement of artificial intelligence, because I could see video games using it for those types of purposes where like if you have a game where you get to put in like where you get to name your character, which is a ton of games having but so like if you have a game that allows you to uh, make a custom name for your character, but also has voice acting, then you're pretty much every game like that. There's some title or something that your character gets called. They always have to like avoid calling, or like calling your character by name, because it's all voice acted ahead of time, so they can't. And if it ever is, it's always in text, and maybe the subtitles will even be different, where the voice actor will use the title, but then in the text of like the subtitle or the dialogue box, it'll actually be like your character's name is inserted. But with AI, and with how good AI has gotten at mimicking people's voices depending on the input that's given, I think that could be a legitimately good use in video games of like using AI generated voice acting of the voice actors you have for your game to be able to say the characters, the player character's name that they put in. I'm sure there's a lot that would have to go into that, into an implementation like that. I would hope that the voice actors would be asked to give their permission for that to happen. Obviously there was a story that that happened recently in the content creator world about AI generated things being used for someone without the person's consent. So that's a kind of big stepping stone for AI that needs to be looked at legitimately by lawmakers soon, before things get even more out of hand than they already are. But I think that to me seems like a potential thing to have happen. I just thought New Vegas without DLC felt like a lackluster Fallout 3 expansion. I like the world and the lore building in 4. All of the modern RPG elements like customization, crafting, base building, etc. The story of the game isn't as cool as New Vegas, definitely, but the gameplay and mechanics felt like a great update in the building upon the old RPG gameplay. Agreed. For the most part. I for sure understand where you're coming from. I don't think anything you said is like crazy or like inherently incorrect or anything. The only thing I like New Vegas plus DLC the most, though, from a single player standpoint, New Vegas has for sure had the strongest like batch of DLCs that any Fallout game has had. Absolutely. Because each one has felt like basically what story DLCs were back then, which was like this entire I wouldn't even call them DLCs. They were expansions, like an MMO's expansion. Like they were almost like an entirely new game. Like they were their own large, self-contained story, but in a completely new environment with brand new maps, brand new items, brand new enemies, new friends, everything. So obviously I'll agree with that. I also don't know about 4's DLCs. I've just heard that they were pretty good. Um, I For me, New Vegas, like I loved the story, and what I think put New Vegas higher than, like at the time, like Fallout 3, and well, even nowadays, like what I think is the reason for a lot of people putting New Vegas so far above like every other Fallout game is the fact that your choices seemed to matter the most to the final outcome of the game. Um, you know, it's still a video game. It came out in what, like 2008 or something, maybe even earlier. Um, so, it still had to have some sort of pre-programmed, like paths and everything. There weren't like an infinite amount of things, different outcomes for the game, but you had like a handful of major endings. Four? Like four major endings that just the main story of the game could take, and then depending on everything else you did in the game, you just like every Fallout game, you get a summation of what your actions have done throughout the region. um and yeah, so like I said, like in 3, like your decisions didn't really matter. Like one way or the other, the game basically came out the same. um and I don't know about 4. I don't know whether your decisions mattered, but that was kind of the big complaint about it, was your decisions didn't feel like they mattered even throughout the game, because like, yeah, they looked like different dialogue options, but the option you took may not be, it felt deceptive because it sometimes wasn't even how the option presented was not how the dialogue actually came off, and led to outcomes that were unsatisfying. Or you got into the situation where it was basically just 4 different ways of saying the same thing, or the illusion of choice by giving you different options, but it essentially all came to the same outcome one way, like regardless of what you did. And I think that was the biggest complaint, and that's the biggest reason why, at least for me personally, I loved New Vegas. New Vegas was the first game for me that I actually had to put down and step away from, because I got so invested in it when it finally came time to make a final decision on what to do with the story and my character and everything that was involved with it. I was so nervous and like stun locked from making a decision that I walked away from the game. Also, mostly because I hadn't made like a hard save before entering that dialogue option. So the pressure also was, you have to make this decision now, and there's no going back to try anything else. If you don't like the outcome of what you got, you'll have to play all the way up again until that point, and then make another choice. So New Vegas, I think had like 4 different paths to a main story ending, right? It was to join the NCR, Caesar's Legion, Mr. House, or an independent Vegas. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what I wanted to choose. I think the very first thing I did, I think, was an independent Vegas. Like I think I killed Mr. House, and I didn't really help either of the two big factions. You know, like obviously the game still leads to the fight at Hoover Dam at the end. That like I still participated in, but I didn't really lean towards one side or the other. The Fallout 4 DLC is excellent, in my opinion. I didn't hear what you said that started all this. Was that you didn't want to play 76 anymore? No, not at all. If you didn't hear it, then no, I was telling you, I had a Fallout dream last night. I can't expand on that because I don't know. Like, I can't describe the dream anymore. I don't know what specifically happened in the dream to make me say that. I know that it was like a Fallout dream. So take that as you will. But no, I'm still fine with 76. I know it's been a little bit since we played, but no, I'd be fine with it. God, you guys, today's been so like up and down, and you want to know what one of the downs was? So this morning, I came in here to get on the PS5 because I saw that the free monthly games for February were out. So like I went and either put them in my library or downloaded. I don't think I downloaded any of them actually, but I did put them in my library just to have them. But then I saw so I have the middle tier of PlayStation Plus, which I think is called like, I don't even remember, whatever the middle one is. And I was looking at the free available games for that tier, and I saw that like the WWE 2K22 game was on there as a free download. And I think like most American children who grew up in the 90s and early 2000s, and maybe even those in the 80s, like wrestling was like a big thing. And like everyone was into wrestling for like at least a little bit, like in some part of their life, and me included. It was something that my dad and I, he and I have very few similar interests. So when we do find something, it's like it's really special, because it's one of the few things we can agree on and have a conversation about, that we both have some knowledge of. And so I've been a wrestling fan on and off my whole life. You know, I try and keep up with like the major things, you know, who's big right now and all that sort of stuff. But I also never bought a wrestling game. I maybe even like played it at a friend's house like a handful of times in my entire life. They're just not games that I ever bought. Mostly because you know, not only was my interest in it big enough, but also, you know, they follow that same model as like every sports game where like a brand new version of it comes out like every single year, but there really isn't enough difference to justify like the price point of it. So it's like if you just wait like a year or two, you can get it for like 99 cents or for free. So I downloaded my first ever wrestling game, and I started going through the like the character creator for it, because the one thing I've always heard pretty positive things about for like the WWE games is that they have really good character customization, and they do. Like right off the bat, there's a lot in the game that is just available and stuff you can unlock, and I'm sure they have like paid DLC shit. But the character customization is really, really nice. So I spent like an hour and a half making a character. And when you make a character, when you get to their appearance, so like their clothing and everything, like their outfit, there's two different ones that you make for one character. And that's your in-ring, like actual fighting attire. But then you have a separate one for your entrance attire, which can get like more flashy and bigger, you know, like coats and collars and big helmets and masks and like costuming and all that sort of stuff. So I spent like an hour and a half doing my wrestling, like the fighting outfit, and then I was like, okay, time to do uh the entrance outfit, and I clicked a wrong button and undid
I gotta
all.
go, dude. Have a good rest of your stream.
Thanks a lot, Dart. Thanks for stopping by, man. Always appreciate it. Um, yeah, I misclicked and undid all of the stuff I did for like for that last like 2 hours that I was making a character. And I sat there momentarily and I was like, I could go back in and redo all this, because like the reason it took so long the first time is because you're making decisions, right? I'm looking through all of my options, seeing what I want, and again, there's very in-depth customization to almost like everything. So that's why it took so long. And I was sitting there, I'm like, I knew if I go if I go back and redo this, it won't take that long at all, because I know what I want. I know what I want to wear. I know what I want the colors to be. I know what I want everything to look like. So I just got to do it again. And then 2 seconds later, I just turned everything off. I was just like, okay, nope. And that's not like I didn't delete the game. I almost like the thought crossed my mind for a moment, um, but I didn't. It's still there. I'm sure. Maybe even like probably like tonight, like after stream or whatever, I'll probably get on and play for a little bit. But fuck, that that sucked. I played the bejesus out of the N64 WWF games. There was one that had surprisingly deep character customization. Yeah, like I said, like all of the ones that I've seen, like anytime I see something about a game, about one of those games, it's basically the same thing, which is, yeah, nothing much changed from last year besides the roster. The graphics look pretty much the same, maybe a little better, but the customization on it, bro. What was I doing?
Bejesus.
Cool. I may do that for. Do you guys want to? You know what? I kind of want to do that for stream. I want to do. I don't know if I'll do it today because like. I don't know. I didn't really say that that's what we were doing for stream, but I would like to see what sort of possible, like, either amazingly cool character or what fucking monstrosity of a character this community would come up with if like that's what I did for stream was do a was like play the wrestling game and we just spent the time making a weird fucking wrestler together. Do we want to do that Friday? Do you guys want to do that Friday? We could do that Friday. I'm going to put it out in the Discord, which I'm going to do right now because otherwise I'll forget. Chat. At everyone. Or actually. Would at everyone. Like if Friday's stream was us making a weird ass WWE wrestler together. That was too much. Ooh, uh-oh. What are we going to talk about? Okay, so I guess we're almost at we're 45 minutes into stream. I guess I should get to the point that I said I was going to get to. No more cereal facts. No. Not today, Queen. I don't, no. No, today we're going to talk about something much more fun. Childhood dreams. So, if you are in or around the video game wild at all, or really just in the media, in entertainment media, then you know what I'm gonna be talking about. All the shit going on with the Hogwarts Legacy game, the recently released Harry Potter RPG. Fans of the series have been asking for something like this since day one. Video games were already a thing when the books were first published, so I would imagine even as far back as since the series came out, I would imagine that fans of it who were also into interactive media have been wanting. I had to sneeze. Pretty much for the entire length of the series' life, people have been wanting something like this. People have been wanting a game where you could be a custom character at Hogwarts, doing all the cool shit that you see in the series. Joining a house, getting a wand, getting a broom, getting your books, going to class, doing all these things, playing Quidditch, fighting monsters, learning magic. That's what the whole thing was about. That's what everyone wanted to do. That's what made the series so cool to begin with. It's the main reason people liked it. Because for sure, even without all the controversial stuff that we're going to talk about, even fans of the series really do have to admit that, like, when you really start, like, in hindsight, when you really start breaking the lore and the world down, a lot of it doesn't make sense. And a big chunk of it is pretty shitty world building. Again, that isn't a new sentiment. People have been saying that for years now. We all know it. There's a lot of suspension of disbelief just so this teenage boy can go on a magical journey. A lot of supposedly smart characters make a lot of really dumb choices. There's a lot about just the magic itself that doesn't make sense. There's a lot of those like, well, wait, if blah exists, why wouldn't they just blah blah blah? One of my favorite tabletop games, tabletop actual plays, is based solely around that concept. If you guys know Dimension 20, which is the tabletop role-playing wing of College Humor, run by, well, actually this one wasn't, so never mind. Anyways, Dimension 20, it's the Critical Role of College Humor. They did one of their favorite series that they ever did was called Misfits in Magic, which was they used a tabletop game system that I believe is called, I think it's like Kids on Broomsticks or something like that. Hold on, I actually want to look this up. Make a new tab. There we go. What is this fucking game called? Yeah, Kids on Brooms. So that was the system they were using, but the theme of the story of like the game they were playing is that, you know, 4 American kids, you know, get chosen to go to this you know, magical school in it's all Harry Potter, except it also takes place in our world, but this magical world has no fucking clue Harry Potter is like a thing. So like it's, you know, it's all the same thing, magical school, houses, you know, sorting and all of the same stuff. And so the 4 players, you know, like their characters know all this shit. And so they can question all of those things that don't make sense in the world. And there's a really unique system that they added to it with I think they call it like the common fucking sense die, where like you get to add an additional die to roll if you're making a check to convince someone in that world of why the thing that they do is really stupid. And they just kind of start spreading this like self-awareness, almost like a virus, to everybody around them. It's really fucking interesting. I super suggest checking it out. I know for sure episode 1 is free on YouTube. You may have to join their service called Dropout for the other episodes, but even if you do, totally fucking worth it. Everything Misfits and Magic is so much fun. Anyways, sorry, tangent about the thing we were actually talking about. Jumping back in. So everybody who likes Harry Potter has wanted to be a wizard in that world since they found out about the series. And we finally got that with this new game that came out, Hogwarts Legacy. Except 2 major things have stood in its way, at least for me. So basically recently, like in the last few years, J.K. Rowling, the author of the book series and basically like the individual who made all of Harry Potter, turned out to be an enormous transphobe, and made multiple just blatant statements against transgendered individuals, which is already not okay and a terrible thing. She's never apologized for it, never like even attempted like a public backtrack at all, and has pretty much stood by her statements. So that was the first kind of like major fall off of a ton of people turning off to everything Harry Potter. Obviously, it is still an enormous and super successful franchise, but no doubt whatsoever, there must have been a huge dip in activity, in sales, and all of that sort of stuff over the last couple of years of people turning away from the series because they no longer wanted their money and their time and their fun being associated with a series that is controlled by someone with those hateful and harmful viewpoints, which is completely correct and completely fine, and I'm glad people did. It is... We are living in a time where more and more often bad things about the things we love are coming to light, which makes it difficult to continue to enjoy those things, sometimes no matter how much they mean to you. And not to say this has never happened before, but it just seems to be happening more and more often. And so not only personally do you have to question, you know, again, like, do I continue to support and be interested in this thing that means so much to me, that I've loved for a portion of my life, that I deem important, knowing that the powers that be in the creation of it go against my personal morals. And that is a tough decision to make, because it's almost like breaking up. It's being in a relationship with something that you have loved for a long time, and then you find out something shitty about them, and you have to decide whether you're breaking up or not. You know, do you love it enough to separate art from artist? Or, but knowing that even if you do, you know, it's become so much more of a social problem that you may be ostracized by the people around you for continuing to support that thing. Or do you walk away from it and just, you know, try to find something else to fill that hole and take the time to heal? So, all of J.K. Rowling's opinions on trans individuals was the first kind of big hit against all that. But then just in terms of video games, you know, so the reports have said the game performs not the best either. So there's also, again, I haven't looked at any specifics because my original intent was to play the game. So I didn't look at anything because I wanted to discover it all myself. But since making the decision that I won't be playing it, I also now just don't care. So I don't know too much about the specifics of the gameplay itself, like the actual game, playing the game. I don't know how it is. I can't say good or bad on anything in that regard. But one of the other reasons I decided not to buy it was finding out the plot of the game is essentially part of the thing that your character has to do is stop the Goblin Rebellion, which the reason goblins are rebelling is because they're considered slaves and would like independence and to be recognized as people. And the point of the game is stopping that. So I didn't want to be a part of that. Like, regardless of JK, regardless of everything else, I like, knowing that, I was like, I'm not too keen on that. I don't really like that. That makes me feel icky. So, for me, those are the two big reasons that I won't be paying. I won't be playing the game. I'm also not going to say I won't ever play it, but it would have to be, like, probably free. It would have to be, like, a free download through PlayStation or something before I end up playing the game. Which, again, does suck. Like, I wanted to. I like the surface level stuff about Harry Potter. I like the houses and the, you know, the things I said earlier, like the houses, the wands, the you know, like, walking around the school, seeing creatures, and interacting with other students, and, like, Quidditch, and all that sort of stuff. Super cool. However, I recognize that is my choice. I have my reasons. And if you are somebody who, for this game, is putting aside those issues to enact that childhood dream of doing all that stuff, fine. I don't care. Go ahead. It's fine. I completely understand. What I'm so fucking... Okay, hold on. Do I go on or do I... Okay, I'm gonna read Quodon's thing real quick before going on what I'm basically like why I'm even talking about this. Uh, Rowling is a dumpster fire, of course. I love the world of Harry Potter, and she didn't make the game. That's another point that I wanted to bring up. I've loved the game so far. Great role playing, and the school and environments are some of the richest and most immersive I've ever played in. It has been the most fun I've had playing a new game in a long time. Okay. I'm glad that it seems to that it's doing so well for you, that you're enjoying it so much. I'm glad that it seems to be what it is you've been waiting for. I'm happy you're having fun with it. What I'm not happy with, what I'm not having fun with, are the people who are so against anybody playing it. They are harassing people, threatening people, ruining people's enjoyment of the game, ruining people's experience for the game, just for playing it. Just before going live, and this is one of the other reasons I really wanted to talk about this, I saw a tweet from someone who said that their 11-year-old daughter got harassed and bullied at school because they played the game. Not from the other students, from adults. An 11-year-old girl got bullied at school by the adults for playing a video game. I have had people in my friend circle who no longer are because of how they've been about this game. Because of how intense it has been. I completely understand people having a personal issue with JK and not wanting to support anything she does and being personally affected by her words. I know I have some very close friends, what I consider close friends, who are trans. I am a staunch ally of the alphabet soup. Mana is a part of that. I may not be. I am as cookie cutter of a human being as you can get. I am a white male with blonde hair and blue eyes who is straight. I'm extra vanilla. And I cannot sympathize with people more, especially on these sorts of things. Like, I don't want to know. That was going to come out a little way. I was going to say I don't want to know your struggles. Like, and that's not me saying, don't tell me, I don't want to know them. Like, anyone who's gone through that sort of stuff and come out the other end is so strong. And I bless you all for doing so. That being said, that isn't an excuse to attack and harass people for liking a book series. There was somebody who had become my friend over the last couple months. And I just couldn't take it anymore. Because, you know, they were saying a lot of the stuff that I wasn't liking, and they had They had posted something on their Facebook that was basically a text screenshot that just was the spoilers for the end of the game. And so like they posted that picture, and like they wrote with it, something along the lines of like, like, take that, assholes. And I just look, I am someone who I don't go to when everything came out about Chick-fil-A, I stopped going there. I didn't really go there a ton to begin with, but I have stopped going there because of their stance on providing funds to individuals and companies who are anti-LGBT. And I don't want to support that, so I don't go. But again, I don't blame people who still do. Yes, there is still a part of me that, like, is like, hey, it is kind of shitty that, like, what they do and have decided that it's okay. But at the same time, like, one of my best friends, two of my best friends are a gay married couple. I see them every week. I talk to them every week. They go to Chick-fil-A like a lot. I don't know about a lot, but like they still go there, and so it's like, okay, okay, like that is their decision to make. I may not fully agree with it, but that is their decision to make. I'm not their dad. I'm not in charge of them. And this to me is just the same thing. I know I feel like I'm saying the same stuff over and over again, but like, it is okay to disagree with a certain aspect of something you enjoy, but continuing to enjoy that thing. Another recent one, Justin Roiland and everything with him, and like with Rick and Morty, it was the same fucking thing where it suddenly came out, like, all of the and still allegations, nothing's been decided in a court yet, all of the allegations about him, and then suddenly you were a terrible person if you like Rick and Morty. And so it's been the same thing with the Harry Potter stuff for years, where if you like Harry Potter, you're the worst person because JK has said transphobic things. So now if you continue to like Harry Potter, you're transphobic, you hate trans people, you're a piece of shit, and you're disgusting, and I'm just not okay with that fucking attitude. Children, anybody, but especially children, should be allowed to enjoy the fucking things that they enjoy. Let them be kids. And even then, again, that extends, that has nothing to do with age either. Just let everybody be who they want, as long as it's not harming anybody else personally. So, I am someone who, it's not big, but I understand I have an audience. I come on here at most 3 times a week, and I talk, and I give my opinions on things. And so I just wanted to give my 2 cents for the current, at the time of this stream, at the time of this recording, the current goings on with this fucking Harry Potter role-playing game. I'm not gonna buy it because I didn't like the idea of the story and the stuff with JK, but I don't care about the people that do. I don't think that if you bought and play and are enjoying the game, I don't think you're transphobic. I don't think you're a shitty person. I think you're someone who likes Harry Potter and finally got their dream. That's it. That's it. And I'm so... It's not even the discourse that I have a problem with. It's how intense it is. If you are someone who is not okay supporting any of it, and even further, if you're not okay that people are supporting it, if you don't like that Quotons has bought and is playing the game, obviously I disagree, but you are allowed to have that opinion. But it's not okay to be an asshole about it and a bully about it. Nah, eat a butt. So that's all I wanted to say. That's all I wanted to put out there. Yeah, so like I said, like we're not getting into Kingdom Hearts or anything today. I'm just today has been like a very like up and down day. Like it's been okay, and there's been a couple like drops where I'm just like I'm tired of today already. So but yeah, I just wanted to come on and talk about that. And just kind of sit and chat about a couple things, but I think that's all we're gonna do for today. It's gonna be a short stream. Again, my tummy's a little rumbly. I'm not feeling too good, so I'm gonna get off. And we'll be live on Friday. Maybe we'll jump back into Kingdom Hearts, depending on what the Discord says, if they say anything. Actually, no. On Friday, we're gonna, whoever's here, we're gonna build like a weird WWE wrestler together. That's what we're gonna do on Friday, and hopefully we finish in time to like maybe actually play a match with him or something. So yeah, that'll be Friday. But that'll be it for today, guys. Thank you everybody for being here. That was, you know, links in the about section. There's donations. That'd be neat. You know, join us in the Discord, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all that sort of shit.
Why is your lake titty caca not filled with boobs and poop?